Let me paint you a picture that might feel all too familiar. Picture this. You've lovingly tended your pepper plants for months, watching them grow from tiny seedlings into promising leafy specimens. You can almost taste those sweet bell peppers or fiery jalapenos in your favorite recipes. Then one morning you step into your garden with your coffee in hand ready to check on your green babies, only to discover a scene of absolute devastation. Curled leaves, yellowing foliage, and tiny holes where healthy plant tissue used to be. Your heart sinks as you realize your precious pepper plants have become a feast for unseen invaders. This was my reality for 3 consecutive growing seasons, and I bet many of you have lived through similar heartbreak. The culprits behind this annual tragedy are usually the same familiar faces in the rogues gallery of pepper pests. Aphids cluster on tender new growth like tiny green vampires, sucking the life from your plants one piercing bite at a time. Spider mites create fine webbing on leaf undersides while systematically destroying plant cells, turning once vibrant foliage into a mottled mess of yellow and brown. Then, there are the pepper weevils, perhaps the most insidious of all, boring into pepper fruits themselves and rendering your entire harvest inedible from the inside out. What frustrated me most was how traditional methods seemed to fail spectacularly when faced with these relentless invaders. I tried every commercial spray on the market, from synthetic insecticides that made me worry about chemical residues on my food, to organic options that promised gentle yet effective pest control. I followed advice from well-meaning gardening forums, concocting homemade sprays with dish soap, garlic, and cayenne pepper that smelled terrible and seemed to do little more than annoy the pests temporarily. Even the so-called natural remedies like companion planting and beneficial nematodes felt like shooting blanks at an army of tiny, persistent enemies. Each season, I'd watch my pepper dreams crumble despite my best efforts, leaving me questioning whether I'd ever master the art of pest-free pepper growing. My breakthrough came in the most unexpected way, during what initially seemed like yet another gardening disaster. While battling a particularly stubborn whitefly infestation on my tomatoes, I noticed something remarkable happening in the corner of my garden where I'd been experimenting with a 2-pronged approach that I'd never tried on my peppers. I was using neem oil for immediate pest knockdown, but here's where it gets interesting. I'd also been deliberately cultivating beneficial insects by planting specific flowering companions nearby and timing my treatments to avoid harming these natural predators. The revelation hit me like a bolt of lightning when I realized that the pepper plants in that same area were not just surviving but absolutely thriving. And this was despite being surrounded by the same pest pressure that had devastated my main pepper patch. It wasn't just a coincidence, this was proof of concept for what would become my secret weapon against those unbeatable pepper pests. The combination of a strategic neem oil application followed by sustained beneficial insect populations created a 1-2 punch that was far more effective than either method alone. Initially, I'll admit, I was a bit skeptical about whether this success could be replicated consistently. After all, I'd been burned by false hope before with other so-called miracle solutions that worked once but failed to deliver long-term results. However, as I began implementing this dual approach across my entire pepper garden, my skepticism gradually transformed into unwavering conviction. Season after season, this method proved its worth, turning my once pest-ravaged pepper patch into a model of healthy, productive plants that seemed almost immune to the pest pressures that had previously destroyed my harvests. So how does this actually work? Let's dive into the science and simplicity of it. Understanding why this combination works so effectively requires grasping the complementary mechanisms at play. Neem oil functions as both a contact killer and a systemic disruptor, containing compounds called azadirachtin that interfere with pest insects' hormonal systems. When pests ingest neem oil or come into direct contact with it, their feeding behavior becomes disrupted, their reproductive cycles get thrown into chaos, and many simply suffocate from the oil coating their breathing apparatus. This makes neem oil incredibly effective for rapid population reduction when you're facing an active infestation. The genius really lies in following up this immediate intervention with the establishment of beneficial insects that provide ongoing sustainable pest control. These natural predators, including ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps, and predatory mites, don't just eat pests, they actively hunt them, laying eggs near pest colonies and ensuring continuous population pressure against your plant's enemies. This creates a self-regulating system where beneficial insects keep pest numbers at manageable levels without requiring constant intervention from you. Implementing this strategy begins with proper neem oil application during the evening hours or on cloudy days to prevent leaf burn from the combination of oil and intense sunlight. Mix 2 tablespoons of high-quality, cold-pressed neem oil with 2 teaspoons of mild dish soap in 1 gallon of warm water, making sure to mix it vigorously for thorough emulsification. Apply this solution to all plant surfaces, and pay special attention to leaf undersides where pests often hide and reproduce. For severe infestations, repeat applications every 3 to 5 days until pest populations are visibly reduced, but always maintain the evening application schedule to protect beneficial insects that might be active during daytime hours. The second phase involves creating an environment that attracts and sustains beneficial insect populations. Plant companion flowers such as sweet alyssum, dill, fennel, yarrow, and marigolds around your pepper plants, since these provide nectar and pollen sources that beneficial insects need for energy and reproduction. Avoid using broad-spectrum pesticides that could harm these allies, and consider purchasing beneficial insects from reputable suppliers if natural populations are slow to establish in your area. Beyond pests, there are unexpected benefits and long-term health improvements. You see, the benefits of this integrated approach extend far beyond simple pest control, creating positive ripple effects throughout your entire garden ecosystem. Plants that aren't constantly under pest stress exhibit dramatically improved vigor. They have deeper green foliage, stronger stems, and significantly increased fruit production. When peppers aren't diverting energy to healing pest damage or producing defensive compounds, they can focus that energy on what we want most: developing larger, more flavorful fruits with better nutritional content. From an environmental perspective, this method aligns perfectly with sustainable gardening practices that protect and enhance natural ecological relationships. Unlike broad-spectrum chemical pesticides that can persist in soil and water systems, neem oil breaks down naturally and poses minimal risk to beneficial insects when applied correctly. The emphasis on beneficial insects creates a more biodiverse garden environment that supports not just pest control, but also pollination services that benefit your entire garden. You'll likely notice improved fruit set not only on your peppers, but on other flowering vegetables and ornamental plants nearby. Perhaps most importantly for long-term success, this approach helps future-proof your pepper garden against evolving pest pressures. Chemical pesticides often lead to resistance development, where pest populations adapt and become immune to previously effective treatments. In contrast, beneficial insects provide dynamic, adaptable pest control that evolves alongside pest populations, maintaining effectiveness year after year. This creates a more resilient garden ecosystem that becomes increasingly stable and self-regulating over time, reducing your workload while improving your results. Alright, so now it's your turn to reclaim your pepper harvest. The beauty of this secret weapon really lies in its elegant simplicity, combined with some pretty powerful effectiveness. You know, you're not trying to eliminate every single pest from your garden, which honestly is neither possible nor even desirable. Instead, what you're doing is establishing a balanced ecosystem, where pest populations stay below damaging thresholds through natural regulation. And the best part is, this approach works whether you're growing sweet bell peppers in containers on your patio, or managing rows and rows of hot peppers in a big garden space. So, to start implementing this strategy, you'll want to conduct a really thorough inspection of your current pepper plants, watching out for early signs of pest activity. Things like stippling on the leaves, honeydew deposits, or even small holes in the foliage. If you do spot any active infestations, go ahead and begin with those evening neem oil applications just like we discussed, and then immediately start planning your beneficial insect habitat improvements. Even if your peppers look totally pest-free right now, it's a great idea to establish beneficial insect populations early, since that creates a kind of protective shield against future pest invasions. Just remember, success with this method really depends on patience and consistency, not on quick fixes or dramatic interventions. Keep a regular eye on your plants, maintain your beneficial insect habitat with the right flowering plants, and try to resist the urge to grab broad-spectrum pesticides when you notice a few pests. Because honestly, small numbers are actually needed to keep your beneficial insect army going strong. I'd really love to hear about your own pepper pest battles and victories in the comments below. Feel free to share photos of your pest damage, maybe some beneficial insect sightings, or even your bumper pepper harvests after putting this strategy into practice. Your experiences help build our community knowledge, and they encourage other gardeners who might be struggling with similar challenges. If this guide has opened your eyes to some new possibilities for your pepper garden, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest gardening insights. And hey, share this video with fellow gardeners who might be facing their own pepper pest nightmares, because everyone deserves to enjoy the satisfaction of harvesting healthy, pest-free peppers from their own garden. In upcoming videos, we'll explore how to adapt this beneficial insect strategy for tomatoes, eggplants, and other nightshade family vegetables. Plus, we'll dive deeper into specific beneficial insects and how to create custom habitat areas that turn your entire garden into a pest-fighting powerhouse.